Okay, let's dive into something really challenging today. Going through a divorce, it completely rocks your world, doesn't it? Emotionally, financially, everything.
It really does.
Yeah.
And smack bang in the middle of all that upheaval, you've usually got the family home.
Exactly. It's almost always the biggest financial thing you own together, but it's also just packed with memories, history.
So much history.
Yeah.
And figuring out what to do with it, it feels overwhelming, monumental even.
It really is more than just, bricks and mortar. It represents the past, your stability right now, and, well, what the future might look like.
And trying to make clear-headed, objective choices about that specific asset when you're emotionally charged.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the toughest parts of the whole process.
Yeah. Getting it wrong can have these ripple effects financially for years down the line.
Definitely. Big consequences.
So that's exactly the challenge we're tackling in this deep dive. We've got some really solid insights, guidance actually, on navigating these housing decisions during divorce. It's particularly useful for folks in Bergen County and northern New Jersey. Our source here is Ryan Sunden from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty to Sunden Group.
Ah, right. His team offers a viewpoint that's just critical in these situations. It's objective, based on experience, focused on the practical steps you need to take.
Exactly. Protecting your financial well-being, helping you actually move forward. They get that it's not your average house sale.
Not at all.
So think of this as like a roadmap, helping you cut through the emotional fog to see the real options for the home, based on what our source, Ryan Sunden, advises.
It starts with acknowledging how tough it is, but then gives you the info you need to make a better choice.
Right. And the first big thing, as you said, is that intense mix, the emotional stress, the financial tangle. They just fuel each other.
They really do. Makes thinking straight incredibly hard.
And the house sits right at that intersection. It's big, it's emotional, it's financially significant. What happens to it impacts where you live next week, sure, but also your financial footing for ages.
Yeah. And our source, Ryan, stresses that before you even look at the options, you've got to ask yourself some tough questions. Really honest ones.
Okay, like what?
Well, does the house genuinely offer comfort and security right now? Or are you clinging to it just because change itself feels scary? That's a huge distinction to make.
That's a really good point. It's easy to confuse what's familiar with what's actually comforting or good for you.
Exactly. And maybe the flip side is true too. Are there painful memories tied up in that house that actually make staying there harder, holding you back from healing?
So the psychological side needs weighing up too, not just the dollars and cents.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But then the undeniable math comes in. Can you, realistically, afford everything that comes with that house on just one income?
Not just the mortgage payment.
No way.
Yeah.
Property taxes, insurance, all the upkeep, utilities.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards. If you miscalculating that, you could be in serious financial trouble fast.
Right. And our source mentions, people often think about minimizing disruption for kids, which is obviously vital.
Oh.
But this guidance really hones in on the property itself, the financial realities. You need that solid ground financially, even while you're considering the kids' stability with, say, input from family lawyers.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Get the numbers right first. So whatever you decide actually supports the family long term. The good news is there aren't endless possibilities for the house.
Okay.
Our source lays out 4 main paths you're likely looking at. The trick is approaching them with solid information, thinking about your finances and future goals, not just reacting emotionally.
Makes sense. Okay, let's walk through these 4 routes. The first one discussed, often seen as the cleanest break, is selling the house and splitting the money.
Yeah, that's super common. The goal then is to get the best possible price, right? So proper prep, good marketing, staging, the usual stuff for any sale.
And then once it's sold, the net proceeds, that's the money left after paying off the mortgage, closing costs, realtor fees, that gets divided based on your divorce agreement.
The plus sides are pretty clear. You maximize the cash from the asset.
You get your share.
You're free from the ongoing costs and the legal tie to that specific property.
And you have cash in hand right away to sort out your next place, whether you're buying again or renting.
And this is exactly where, according to our source, Ryan Sunden and his team come in. They specialize in helping divorcing couples with this exact scenario.
Okay.
Their whole focus is selling quickly and for the highest price possible. That's crucial when time and money are tight, which they usually are in a divorce.
And they have some specific guarantees about getting it sold, too.
They do. Really interesting guarantees. We should definitely talk more about those.
We will. But first, option number 2. One spouse buys out the other's share. This is if you want to be the one who stays in the house.
Right. So you're essentially buying your ex's half, well, their equity share. First step, get a proper home valuation.
An appraisal.
Exactly. A professional assessment of what the house is worth today. That tells you how much that equity share actually costs.
Got it. And then you need the money for that buyout, either savings or you need to qualify for a new loan.
And you have to be absolutely sure you can handle all those home expenses we talked about. Solo.
Taxes, insurance, repairs, everything.
Everything. And critically, you have to refinance the mortgage.
Yeah.
Get a new loan. Solely in your name.
To pay off the old joint one?
Yes. That's vital to get your ex-spouse completely off the hook, legally and financially. Protects their credit, lets them move on too.
Okay. Makes sense. Then option 3 is basically the flip side. You accept a buyout from your spouse. You're the one leaving the home.
Right. Your spouse keeps the house, pays you for your equity share. Again, that fair market valuation is crucial. You need to know you're getting the right amount for your piece of the asset.
And from your end, leaving, you absolutely need confirmation you are off that old mortgage.
So important. Our source really emphasizes this. It frees up your credit, lets you qualify for your own loans later, maybe for your own new place. You need that mortgage release.
No question. And the cash you get helps you set up somewhere new. Plus, you get that clean break from the property's responsibilities.
No more worrying about the leaky roof or the property taxes. You're done with it.
Okay, so sell and split, buy the other out, or get bought out. The fourth option sounds potentially tricky. Maintaining joint ownership temporarily.
Yeah, this means you both stay on the title. Maybe one of you lives there, but you decide to sort out the final ownership later. It might seem easier up front, but our source warns about some pretty significant potential headaches down the road.
Like what?
Well, for starters, both of you usually stay on the hook for the mortgage and other costs, like taxes. Even if you agree one person pays, that joint loan still affects the other person's credit score and their ability to borrow.
Oh, right, because their name is still on that big debt.
Exactly. It ties your hands financially. Plus, there can be unexpected tax issues later on.
And I imagine it makes getting a new mortgage really hard for either person.
Very hard, because that existing loan counts against you. It limits your options when you might really need to buy your own place to, properly move on.
Makes sense.
And think about it. Keeping it joint can just lead to more disagreements. Who pays for repairs? What about upgrades? When do you finally sell? How do you sell? It can just prolong the entanglement.
Yeah, it sounds like it might just kick the can down the road and create more stress later compared to the options that offer a definite resolution now.
That seems to be the takeaway from the source. Clarity and finality are usually better for letting both people move forward independently.
Okay, so those are the 4 main paths: selling, buying out, getting bought out, or that temporary joint ownership. When you lay them out like that, especially with all the financial stress and emotion involved, man, you can really see why getting good advice is critical.
Absolutely. Especially navigating real estate in a specific market like Bergen County during something as tough as a divorce.
And that brings us back to the value of a team like Ryan Sunden's at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. They have specific experience for this exact situation.
Yeah, our source highlights some distinct advantages they offer, things tailored to this unique challenge.
Like your track record. The source mentioned some pretty impressive numbers. A database of over 3,700 buyers. That's a lot of potential eyes on your property.
It really is. And they say they sell homes 43% faster than the average time on market there. In a divorce, speed often equals less stress and faster financial resolution.
Totally. And getting top dollar is key too. The source says they average 4.7% higher selling prices than comparable homes.
So faster and more money. That's a strong combo when you need to make the most of shared assets.
It points to a really effective system, but maybe the thing that offers the most, reassurance, it's that guarantee they offer.
Yes. Your home sold, guaranteed, or I'll buy it back. Promise. Let's unpack that. What does it actually mean for someone going through this?
It sounds like
certainty.
That's exactly it. It provides a level of certainty that's just invaluable when everything else feels so uncertain. The promise is they list your home, and if it doesn't sell in the open market for a price you've agreed is acceptable,
And then they will buy it from me.
for cash. Wait, seriously, if it doesn't sell, they step in and buy it.
That's the guarantee, according to the source. It's like a safety net. Now, there's a condition you and Ryan have to agree up front on that potential purchase price and the closing date if the guarantee kicks in.
Okay, that makes sense.
But the core promise is powerful.
Yeah.
Your home will sell one way or another. It gives you a definite end date for dealing with that asset. The source even repeats it. Your home will sell, or we'll buy it from you. Guaranteed.
Wow, that kind of certainty when everything else feels like chaos, that's huge.
It takes a massive unknown, a potential source of huge conflict and delay right off the table.
Yeah, I can see that.
And beyond the numbers and that guarantee, the source also stresses their specialized support. They get that this isn't just listing a house.
Right. They mention needing objective, unbiased advice because, yeah, emotions are sky high. You need someone logical.
And clear communication with everyone involved.
Right.
Which can be tough if spouses aren't talking directly.
Good point. They also mention being flexible with scheduling around court dates, lawyer meetings. Life gets complicated.
Totally. And obviously, handling sensitive personal and financial stuff completely confidentially. That's a given.
That whole package, understanding the unique pressures of a divorce sale, seems really important. Plus, their local knowledge, helping hundreds of Bergen County families. That says a lot about knowing the local market.
Oh, absolutely. Knowing the specific trends in northern New Jersey, what buyers are looking for there, how to price it right there, that lets them leverage those stats we talked about, selling faster, selling for more.
Okay, so putting it all together, divorce is incredibly hard, no doubt. But making smart, practical choices about the house, that feels foundational for getting back on your feet financially.
It absolutely is. Whether selling is the way or a buyout makes more sense for you, having pros who understand divorce real estate. It makes a world of difference.
Especially pros with that track record, the specialized support, the local smarts, and wow, that guarantee. It reduces stress, helps you get the best outcome possible.
You really don't want the heat of the moment, the emotions, pushing you into a bad decision with likely your biggest asset. Our source makes it clear. Get objective professional advice. It's just critical.
So if you're listening and you are facing this, navigating these tough choices about your home, especially in Bergen County or northern New Jersey, reaching out for that kind of specialized help seems like a really smart first step.
Definitely. And the source gives Ryan Sunden's direct contact info. The office is at 132 Paris Ave, Northvale, NJ 07647.
And the phone number is 201-739-6443, or you can email Ryan at sundenhomes.com.
They can help you figure out your specific situation, explain the options clearly, and show how their approach, including those guarantees, can give you some much-needed support and certainty.
Yeah, really understanding your choices, having that expert support focused just on the real estate part, selling, the valuation, the financing details, it really can help you navigate this with more confidence.
Get a cleaner financial result, you know?
Absolutely, because getting the house decision right, it's not just about the property itself, is it? It's about laying down a solid financial foundation so you can actually rebuild your life after the divorce.
Making that clear, informed decision about the home with the right support, that could be the key step that unlocks unexpected freedom, maybe new opportunities on the other side of all this difficulty.